To that mystery over who received stolen money from the NYS saga, well, Larry Madowo is standing by to speak to Elgeyo Marakwet Senator Kipchumba Murkomen on the same. Larry?
Thanks, Gladys and Trevor. And the Senator for Elgeyo Marakwet is here, is Kipchumba Murkomen. Thank you so much for coming in tonight.
Thank you.
The direct question is, Waiguru, the former devolution cabinet secretary, says you benefited from the NYS scandal.
First of all, she never said that. And I think, Larry, it is through this saga and the conversation around myself that I've learned that the fight against corruption is going to be very difficult, because many people are not interested in the truth. Many people are interested in who is Jubilee, who is caught.
So what is the truth? How
is it possible? That's why I'm coming.
Because that's a political angle of it.
No,
but what is the truth?
I'm just coming there. And that, you know, as long as you drop the name of Murkomen or any other prominent person whose name can really, you know, sell for yourself, I think Ms. Waiguru thought that by mentioning the law firm of SMS advocates, it would link it to me. But let's...
So even though she didn't necessarily say you ate, she implied it by mentioning it.
Let's come to the truth. The truth is that neither Waiguru or any other person who appeared before Public Accounts Committee mentioned that Kipchumba Murkomen, Kipchumba Murkomen, benefited in any way with NYS money. Nobody.
So it was not said directly?
And in fact...
it was implied. You will agree that it was implied?
And in fact, let me just come to that. And in fact, there has been a erroneous debate in public and in newspapers that there is a shielding of Murkomen from appearing before Public Accounts Committee, that I'm being protected from appearing before Public Accounts Committee.
Are you?
When the truth is that nobody mentioned me adversely before Public Accounts Committee, and therefore there's never been necessity for me to appear before that Public Accounts Committee. In fact, the other lie has been that, oh, why is Murkomen? I've seen some people say, why is Murkomen defending himself in public barazas and coming to media shows like this? It's because I have no any other forum. The only people who have accused me have been accused by persons in social media, but also have been accused by mainstream media, by people who are reporting erroneously that I was mentioned. And I challenge you, Larry Madowo, to provide evidence where any person before Public Accounts Committee mentioned the name of Kipchumba Murkomen as a beneficiary of NYS saga.
The MP John Badi wants you to appear before the PSC.
Yeah. On what basis? You know, somebody has to appear, and that's why I'm challenging all of us. Somebody has to appear before Public Accounts Committee and mention me adversely for me to be accorded that opportunity to appear. And in fact, the only closest someone came to mentioning my name is by saying that the law firm of Singoe Murkomen and Sigei, actually in brief we call our law firm SMS Advocates, was representing clients before either clients who have been mentioned in NYS saga or clients who dealt with money from NYS. And let me make it very clear here that when Waiguru appeared before, and I think, and that's why I really want to challenge you to provide what she said to the Public Accounts Committee. She said that we were paid, the law firm of SMS Advocates was paid money by Ben Gedhi and Josephine Kabura,
yes,
such amount that if you were to look at the transaction we were handling, she implied that we were handling a conveyancing transaction of over 3 billion shillings. When media realized that that is not true, when Public Accounts Committee realized that's not true, first of all, they never did a follow-up question to Waiguru. Number two, that discussion has been dropped.
Okay.
And
I want to go through this systematically.
We need to clear that.
You have spent plenty of time trying to defend yourself.
Because honestly, I'm not defending myself.
So I want to unpack it systematically for the benefit of our viewers.
Okay.
What has changed from when the NYS scandal first broke out? Your party, the deputy president, you included, were of the opinion that no money was lost. That story has since changed.
Let me make it clear. There is no day you heard me say no money was lost.
You did not say money was lost.
We're discussing about Murkomen here.
Yes.
Number two, there's been lies out there that I defended Waiguru that he was innocent. I didn't. We were here in this show. And I repeated severally before these NTV and other media stations, and even in public. I say that we as a country, we want to fight corruption. We must move systematically, link the facts and the case. And I remember using the words, we don't want to be a nation that is of mob justice. And I repeated that once we get the evidence linking Waiguru to this case, there should be no reason why she should not be suspended or removed.
Is that because you worked very closely with her when you were devolution committee chair?
Well, we worked closely with her, but that's a different issue. My argument on the question of following rule of law when you're dealing with matters corruption is not just about Waiguru. It's about, remember, the president was duped by EACC by providing a list of 179 people and saying that those people were culpable and they should be charged.
Okay.
Up to now, of the 179, nearly 170 have not been charged anywhere, have not been found with any mistake, because we've become a nation of mob justice. The same way, there's a lot of mob justice around Murkomen without anyone caring whether, was he mentioned about NYS Saga, was he paid any money
Let me take you through Waiguru's affidavit, which she mentioned again at the PSC.
Absolutely.
And she said, Senator Murkomen visited my office and informed me that he represents his clients who are the merchants whose funds had been stopped at IFMIS. And he goes on to say, and he passed a message from his client stating that I should tell DCI to drop the investigations, and said I would face unspecified consequences if I did not adhere to these demands.
Those are lies. They are absolute lies. The conversation, and I have provided that information. First of all, Larry Madowo, there was no one who would intimidate Waiguru. There's no one who would threaten Waiguru. Do you remember how she used to peddle influence? That she had the highest influence in this land, she has the ear of the highest people in this office. So first of all, those are lies. Second, this is an afterthought. Remember, she's saying this 6-7 months way after. You know, she's even trying to recollect that information. But we have not denied that the law firm of SMS advocates who are representing Ben Geddi as a client.
You represented Ben Geddi?
Absolutely.
Was it when he was doing business with NYS or after?
We don't know whether he ever did business with NYS. Even up to now, we don't know. Our representation was in the process, the law firm represented Ben Geddi in the process of investigation.
So this meeting that Waiguru mentions in her affidavit never happened?
It never happened.
How can you say so when you said this yourself, that you worked very closely with her? And I want to jog your memory by playing this again, when you defended yourself in
let's
Parliament.
come there. Meeting with Waiguru, I met with Waiguru so many times because I worked with her as a devolution chair. I worked with Waiguru as a person from our country, the government. We even went to Waiguru to a place called Embobu to pay squatter. So
excellent.
Working with Waiguru and meeting with Waiguru, I met her many times.
So you remember saying this? Play this.
Definitely.
Very well know that I have been working. I worked with the former CSO closely until her resignation as the chair of the devolution committee. And at no point, even when she was saying she was a whistleblower, at no point did she mention my name or the one for Dwale.
So do you believe that she was a whistleblower?
Now, with the facts now on the table, I don't think she was a whistleblower.
Did you believe then that she was a whistleblower?
Well, at that point in time, I insisted, there is a difference between some of us who are lawyers and who are not.
So is that a yes?
At that point in time, I just say, let's wait for the facts to unravel. So at that point in time, I didn't have the evidence enough to believe whether she was guilty or not. But if you ask me now, I am more than convinced that Waiguru has something to answer about the NYS saga.
This is what she said before the PSC regarding this same meeting in her affidavit.
And in that affidavit, I talk about a conversation with Murkomen, which in his response he did not deny. He actually accepted when he responded. We only dispute the nature of the conversation.
That is true. That's true. I have told you, we have met with Waiguru many times. There are many times even when
So the meeting happened is just the discussion. What you talked about is what you dispute.
In fact, the question would be, which exact meeting? Meeting Waiguru, we've met several times.
All right.
But as we ever discussed with Waiguru about legal issues? No.
Your other client is Out of the Box Solutions.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're accused of having gotten a contract worth over 300 million shillings, for which it is claimed they didn't provide any services.
Absolutely.
And your law firm, SMS Advocates, was paid 15 million shillings by Out of the Box.
No, that's not true. And I think this is the lies that are being peddled around. Before, and I want you, Larry Madowo, to be very keen on this one.
Right.
Before anyone has a discussion about legal practice, because this is the only case, and I want to emphasize here, this is the only situation I've seen all over the world where lawyers, there is a criminalization of legal practice. And this is a process that really lawyers and LSK must follow so closely. One, the lawyer Willie Kimani was killed by people who felt that it was wrong for him to represent a client. No,
the question is not about representing the clients. It's about the monies. Nobody is doubting why you...
Relax. Let's just come to that. Some people who don't know even how law firms operate abrogate themselves responsibility like Waiguru to define what is payment to a law firm and what's payment to client's account.
So what is this payment?
It is true that out-of-the-box solutions wired money not about 15 million shillings to client's account at SMS Advocates and I want to say this with a disclaimer that I have no responsibility to discuss my client in public because of client advocate
absolutely except when the money has become a matter of public investigation.
Except not even when it is a matter of public investigation, I have no responsibility, except that because this thing has attracted a lot of propaganda and lies. I have talked to my client and I've told them I am going to discuss this matter.
Right.
And therefore, I'm discussing a matter that otherwise lawyers, and remember Fred Ojambo in Anglo-Leasing, he was being pushed to discuss about his client. And of course, he could not discuss it. But for me, for this case, for purpose of public interest, and because it is lies, I want to make it clear that the client wired 15 million shillings for purpose of purchasing a property that was properly passed to purchasing that property. And the client appeared before Public Accounts Committee with the evidence of title deed and with the evidence of the transaction. So the lies, and you need to appreciate this, and Kenyans need to appreciate, Advocates Act makes it very clear. When you become a lawyer and you run a law firm, you must open an account for clients and open an account for the law firm.
So this 15 million shillings was not for legal fees?
Never paid as legal fees to our law firm. Rather, it went specifically to a transaction that was decided by the client. And again, Larry Madowo.
I have to go.
No, you can't go. You can't go because these lies, you guys have had enough time to lie about this. We need to emphasize this. Lawyers,
they're playing the music, which means we really need to go.
We are the only law firm that's being asked to explain transaction of a client when already payments that are all being paid are being monitored by CBK and monitored by banks.
The reason why it's coming up is because out-of-the-box solutions were registered only 30 days before they were paid.
But let me just come to that. First of all, there is lies about, and these have been inquired from the client, and it's appearing also before Public Accounts Committee. First of all, out-of-the-box solutions never worked for NYS. Number two.
That is true.
Number two.
That is true. But the PSC has confirmed. The PSC has confirmed that they did not work for the NYS, but they were paid out of the NYS vote.
They were
paid out of the NYS vote. Why did that happen?
Can I come to the facts? Because you want facts.
Yes.
The first issue is that out-of-the-box solutions never worked to NYS. Number two.
It was something for the planning department.
Absolutely.
But why were they paid out of the NYS vote?
Number two, out-of-the-box solutions got contracts after advertisements were done, including in Nation newspaper, for people to call for bids.
That is not in dispute.
Number three. Let me just conclude.
What is in dispute, Honorable Murkomen, is that they were paid out of the NYS vote. Why is that?
Let me just conclude.
Isn't that irregular?
Number three. Out-of-the-box solutions, just like our law firm, does not go to inquire from those who owe them where they got the money to pay them. And I want to come to that.
Isn't that convenient?
Can I come to that?
You?
No, it's not convenient. Let me explain. When you go to a butchery to buy meat, the butcher doesn't ask you where did you get the money to buy meat. When you go to a shop, the teller will not ask you, you are buying goods worth 100,000, where did you get the money?
All right.
And let me conclude by saying, Nation Media, including NTV, has done so many advertisements for devolution ministry. Even the newspaper advertised even this work out of the box. And I will just come to this. When they get revenue from those adverts, they paid Larry Madowo. Did you eat NYS money?
That is a very fast stretch. What I want to ask though is
out
of the box solutions is owned by Angela Ngwenyi, one of the owners.
Yeah.
You are a regular guest on Angela Ngwenyi's show.
Yeah.
Did you broker this deal with the planning the devolution ministry?
Which deal?
The deal for the 302 million shillings with the devolution ministry.
Why would I as a lawyer dealing with transaction of purchasing of property?
Because you are also, like you said, as devolution chair, working very closely with
Angela Ngwenyi
Waiguru.
Angela Ngwenyi was our client as a law firm.
The conflict of interest that seems to arise here is you are devolution chair.
Yes.
You're also a regular guest on Angela Ngwenyi's show. You're also her lawyer for her firm.
Yes.
And then they register a firm and then get a huge 302 million shilling contract.
Yeah.
You don't see the conflict of interest?
The conflict of interest, am I the one to award contracts? Was I running Minister of Devolution? How does the conflict of interest arise?
So did you, as Kipchumba Murkomen, take any money from the NYS?
I have said I did not take a single cent from NYS.
Okay.
And second, that there is no one who has alleged anywhere, and there's no evidence that I've taken any money from NYS.
We'll leave it there. Kipchumba Murkomen, thank you so much for coming in
tonight. But before Larry...
I really have to go, so you have to stay on in 10 seconds or well over time.
Absolutely. even before you conclude that, I think journalism, this is my concluding remarks, journalism and the professionalism in this country must actually up their game, so that we don't find, I see newspapers on TV, insinuations that because my friend sits in a particular office, I have friends in our office, that you want to always drop my name. When there is no facts, no evidence, nobody has mentioned my name in relation to NYS.
We'll leave it there.